Huh, you're good. All right. Well, I guess the first thing that you'd want to clear up, just so that no one's questioning anything you do online, is that you are T.R. Hellerich.
Absolutely.
You are that user on Bushido.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
sometimes I'm pretty vocal about what I get on there and do.
So
I think it's necessary. People got to understand the shock that I had at first of someone claiming to be me emailing someone else and saying, hey, Brad, this is Tim, and these guys are no good, or whatever it was. And of course, that's going to shock. There's going to have to be a shock value there. So I was upset. I was mad. And I responded accordingly, I guess.
But just for clarity, for future reference, that is your username, T.R. Hellerich.
Absolutely.
Okay, good. So you've already joined.
My face is right on there. Yeah. That's me. You're looking at me.
You've already joined the discussion, and there shouldn't be any more confusion about who is.
I hope not.
Yeah. Okay. So we got that on. The second thing is that it was not you who sent the original email in question that was on that thread, the one that was referring to both me and Don Gwynn sparring.
Absolutely. I've sent no email.
Yeah.
The only thing I've done is post on that site.
Yeah.
Since you made me aware of that original email, I've never emailed anyone even since or before.
And you don't know a Brad Stein?
I don't know a Brad Stein. I would like to. I don't know a Brad Stein. No.
Okay, so there's no Brad Stein in question. So
I think Brad Stein is Ray, but personally, I think.
Yeah. So that's complete fabrication. Using your name was totally out of line.
Absolutely.
All right.
Completely.
Go ahead and start from the beginning and just lay out, the facts you can about your relationship with Stephen Ray from the beginning.
Well, the first time I met him was probably 3 or 4 years ago, and it was brief. It was at a big Taekwondo demonstration. A Korean team came and visited here.
Okay, so what rank was he when you first met him?
He was second degree black belt Kukyoan certified. Does that mean he wasn't higher than that general dan or his school dan? For instance, his master, sometimes Kukyoan has to catch up. I know people that are second degree black belts still waiting for the first degree Kukyoan certificate.
Right.
Is it Kukyoan that takes that long? No, it's the Korean master that will submit it when he feels like it. He'll charge you all kinds of money. I'm not going to rip on Korean masters. Half of them are good. Half of them.
But he was a second degree
Kukyoan certified, but going around telling everyone at the time he was a fourth, and then just really quickly, a couple of years later, he was sixth all of a sudden. Rank advancement doesn't really work that way. Typically, between first and second dan, you're waiting a year. That's the minimum requirement. I think I waited 10 years for first and second. Partly my choice. But second to third, for instance, 2 years. Whatever dan you are, minimum number of years you're going to wait going to the next one.
Right.
So how do you go from 2 to 4?
Yeah, but what you're basically saying is 2 to 4 to 6 in a period of 2 to 3 years seems
really
a little
fast.
bit really fast. Like, okay.
I read Korean perfectly fine, so I read the Sun Dusul certificate he has posted.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a Taekwondo certificate. He is a 6th dan, yes. That Choi, that Master Choi, is a good friend of his. He'd probably write him a 9th dan tomorrow if he wanted it. And Sun Dusul is a great idea, I guess. It's not necessarily been a huge success yet because none of us have ever heard of it.
Right. Well, from what I understand in the research, when I personally talked to YSJ, was that he himself made that style, and so then Ray would be the first step down in that lineage of that new style. But it wasn't. It was only made in the late 80s, so he would be the first one to get that certification on that lineage. But again, as you're correct,
it's just hard to say. It's hard to say because this guy's pretty much got the attitude he can do what he wants. It's his. He's a Taekwondo guy that founded a Korean martial art. He named it. Is it under any umbrella organization? Is the first thing I usually ask. Umbrella organizations like World Taekwondo Federation. Well, it's not Taekwondo, so it wouldn't be. But something equivalent to a like the World Kido-hei, for instance. World Kido-hei, you have a black belt in World Kido-hei. No one ever questions your authenticity. They don't even accept Kukyoan. They look at that and go, whatever. World Kido-hei is the big organization in Korea. There's a dan registry and also recognizes new martial arts. If you were to come up with something like Sun Dusul, that's the first place you'd want to go to. They'll watch the art for a good 6 to 10 years before they decide, okay, I'll accept that. Now let's make it official. Well, you're saying they've been around since the 80s. They're not part of the World Kido-hei. They're not part of any umbrella organization. I might be pissing off all the Sun Dusul people. I'm sorry.
I'm not sure that there's that many, to be honest.
I'm sorry. It's not Taekwondo. Why does Ray put a 6th dan Taekwondo and then post a certificate that doesn't even have the word Taekwondo anywhere on that certificate? Not one place. Okay? Then again, why do I care? Because I really don't. Because I know Ray's full of it. And just about everything he says is a lie. Unfortunately, because there's people that believe it and they buy into it, and that bothers me. But I'm not here to make myself bigger by making him smaller. If you have questions, I'll answer them best.
Why don't you go ahead and tell us about your involvement with him when you were at the World Martial Arts Studio?
Not World Martial Arts. This was Chung Ho Taekwondo Academy.
Chung Ho Taekwondo Academy.
Grandmaster Park had hired him. He was virtually sleeping in his car. Grandmaster Park offered him a job there when he first opened that one in Belleville. Grandmaster Park had other Chung Ho Taekwondo academies, and off of Mexico Road he had one, St. Peter's, Manchester. He had about 4 at the same time at some point. And then he was kind of giving them to the highest ranking master in that school, and he was only involved at one point with the one in Belleville location, 1620 Lebanon Avenue. It was successfully for about 3 years or so, almost 3 years. It was doing pretty good. But Grandmaster Park really wanted to retire. And you got to understand how these guys, how do they retire? If Taekwondo's been his whole life, and he hasn't really done anything else, what does he do now? Well, what you do is you give your schools, you try to have a chain of schools, successful ones, you give them to your highest ranking masters. You ask for a percentage of the profits each month. If you have quite a few schools, the more money you're going to make. You sit back, retire.
Right, you make an investment, you get your money back.
Pay a visit to the schools every now and again. That's how you do it. That's one way. He wasn't prepared to do that the right way, and unfortunately, that wasn't going to happen for him. He made a lot of bad decisions. He's a great guy. I love him to death. Grandmaster Park, he's the real deal. He's I noticed that phrase being used on bullshido.net. And if there is a real deal, he's the real deal. Not a great businessman. I don't know if he really had the time to invest in learning proper American business. He'd like to do Korean business. That's not going to work in America. Mm-hmm. So that started to fail a little bit. And he offered the school to me, not thinking I knew about a lot of the virtual debt and physical debt, actual debt that was involved with the school. So I told him no. He was really disappointed because he knew I was loyal to him. And I probably would have done just about anything he asked me to do. But because of that debt, I couldn't afford to take it on. And I didn't want to see those students being taken advantage of any further. As far as, some of them had just paid him $3,600, and he was going to leave. A few of them had paid for like a couple of years in advance. He was going to split, Some of them paid for their Kukiwan registration. Not all of them got it, so we had to work hard to get them their Kukiwan registration and their certificates. Well, he also asked our senior instructor here, Terrell Jay, to take the school. Of course, right away he said no, thanks. Well, Grandmaster Park got pretty mad at us, and he knew we weren't real fond of Ray, so he went and called Ray right away. He paid him a visit. I'd already started to hear a lot of negative things about SC Ray. And, what do I care if he's not anywhere near me? If he's not in Belleville, why do I care? But I was willing to give him a chance anyway. I spoke with him on the phone. He made an appointment. He came to the school. He talked to most of the black belts. But he almost had like a dictatorship attitude right away from the start. He was telling us we couldn't have meetings without him. Well, we were running the school without any master. At one point, Grandmaster Park was gone. He moved before he told us he moved. He was in L.A., and I thought he was visiting. Kept calling him, I'll be back soon. A close friend of his said, no, go to his house. For sale sign, everything's gone. Grandmaster Park had left the building. And
basically handed the school over to...
Well, he handed it to me. I didn't want it. So then at that point, it was my job to find a master to be willing to take on the debt and the huge responsibility of running a martial arts school of that caliber. So had I ever done it before? No. I didn't. If I want to start, I'm going to start small. Like here. It was a perfect place for me to start. If that is going to be what I want to do long term. I still haven't made up my mind yet. I'm going to help these people. This will be Terrell's school.